To understand the situation better, we are joined by Head of Palestine International Broadcast and senior journalist Osama Nazzal, live from Jenin, North-occupied West Bank. Thank you for joining us. Israel says it targets militants, but civilians keep dying in these strikes. So from what you are tracking, what's the actual ratio of civilian to militant casualties on the ground?
Yeah, on the ground, the situation improves itself, that all of the casualties are Palestinian civilians, and the majority of these casualties are children and women. This is according to the reports from the hospitals in the Gaza Strip, and at the same time, the accounts of the Palestinian citizens who are there and they are witness to the Israeli crimes and the Israeli bombing of the tents and the areas where the displaced Palestinians are living. And according to the United Nations reports and other international organizations' reports, more than 70% of the Palestinian victims since the start of the Israeli genocide war in October 23 against the people of Palestine, 70% are civilians, and a large number of them are women and children. These are the data of the international reports, the United Nations reports, and some Israeli organizations, of course, upheld such data and such findings. The only party that denies that is the Israeli occupation government and the extremist parties that are on its side in its crimes against the Palestinians, other than those who were killed. Those who are homeless today and who are starving because of the Israeli blockade. Are they Palestinian militants? They are Palestinian families, children, women, and the elderly. All of them are civilians.
And hospitals, medics, and journalists have been repeatedly hit. So is this incident, or do you see a deliberate pattern targeting those who document and treat?
Yeah, without any doubt that the Israeli plan since day one of its aggression on the Palestinians, it began to target hospitals. And if you remember, the first big massacre was committed in Al-Ahli hospital in Gaza in 23 when 500 Palestinian civilians were killed when Israel bombarded the courtyard of the hospital and some facilities outside of its operation rooms and its patients' rooms. So that was a clear message from Israel that it is going to target the Palestinian health sector because its policy is based on eliminating the people of Palestine. And how can it eliminate the people of Palestine? By first depriving them of the right to medical treatment and to health service. And it was able indeed to paralyze the Palestinian health sectors by demolishing almost all of the hospitals in the Gaza Strip and by not allowing the entry of medication and of injections and other necessities the medical sector needs by not allowing them to enter into Gaza Strip. So all that is happening according to a plan, and all that is according to a deliberate action and a clear policy based on ethnic cleansing and genocide.
And with ICC and ICJ proceedings ongoing, so what accountability do you think, if any, do you expect to materialize, and what would meaningful justice look like to you?
Look, we don't want to be imaginative as we understand the international balance of power and the context of the international organizations, because we know that when the ICJ and the ICC decided to pursue the Israeli war criminals, including the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his Defense Minister Gallant, these bodies began to face the enmity of the American administration and other governments that don't support their decision to pursue the Israeli war criminals. And when the governor of New York stated days ago that he is pushing the administration, the federal government, to arrest Netanyahu if he visits in New York, the American president said that Netanyahu shall not be arrested either in New York or any other part in the United States, which means that the first power on a planet is rejecting the ICC and the ICJ resolutions in favor of the Israeli occupation regime against the people who are sacrificing for justice and for freedom and the human rights.
And Israelis are protesting Netanyahu. So does that unrest put any pressure, do you think, on the genocide and the policies driving it, or does it stop at the border?
We know that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu started a genocidal war more than 3 years ago and killed over 73,000 Palestinians and injured about a quarter million others. We know that the Israeli Prime Minister and his political echelon are leaving no chance, no opportunity for the Palestinians to have life in the occupied West Bank and Jerusalem by swallowing the Palestinian land and by unleashing the Israeli settlers militias that attack Palestinian villages and, as you reported, set fire to Palestinian Muslim mosques and to Christian churches in occupied Palestine. And we did not see any action by the Israeli society really against this government. So I think these protests that we saw today are coming just part of the electoral maneuver between the different Israeli political parties, but not per se against Netanyahu for the genocidal crimes he commits and the colonial enterprise he implements in the occupied Palestinian land. So it could be like a passing event, but does not represent a core event that would lead to change in Israeli policy towards the Palestinian people and their land.
Many thanks, Mr. Nazzal, for your precious time.